Excellency, Dr. Rashid, thank you for having me again here. How are you? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm between you and the lunch, so I'll try and to be as exciting as possible and as fast as possible, but please bear with me. I'm very happy that there are students here because I'm going to talk about personal branding as part of my deliverance. I was told not to showcase my company. So I was in a dilemma. We're talking about brands. And then I saw 14 speakers talking on branding. So I had to do something very unique. It's my personal journey. I've had the fortune and the God's providence that I have served with Rolls-Royce and GE and Alstom, which are one of the good brands, at least to say. So I'll start with not taking a lot of time. I'll talk about myth and madness. Why do I call this madness and why do I call it myth? It's because I have juggled through this, and I'll take you through that journey. So let's try and define very quickly. I think this is somewhere that I really want to take some time. Let me define branding. You've all heard we will be hearing in the later part of the day. So let me say that brand is a personal promise you make and are known for keeping it. It's a promise that you give to your customers, to your peers, and you know, when you're talking about personal brand, and you keep it, right? A brand is no longer what we tell the consumer, it's what the consumers tell each other. So it's a word of mouth saying that this brand is good. Hey, you should buy Nike instead of the other brand. We just heard somebody. Brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room, when you're not there. If people talk about you, that's branding. Brand is a set of expectations, memories, stories, relationships that account for consumers' decision to choose. And that's something that Dr. Rashid talked about. Why do I call it a myth? Branding is not a fad. It's not something that I'm proud. It is, well, if I'm wearing if I'm driving a Rolls-Royce or I'm driving a Porsche or something, it's a fad. But it's creating an equity. A brand has an equity, and I'll show you in coming slides. Branding is not a one-time effort, and we've heard speakers say about this. You have to maintain a brand, otherwise the brand will fall down. You have to maintain the reputation of the brand. One single employee in a company by his wrongdoing can kill the brand. Branding statement is not just a string of words. It's a mission statement. It's about the soul and purpose and the commercial strategy behind it. So that's why I call it a myth. We've got a lot of these myths in our mind that we talk about. Why do I call it madness? Again, I'll talk about how brands can make your life, well, not make your life miserable, but how can they bring the kind of dynamics? So let me take you to the next slide. I'm sorry, the font is very poor here. I tried to, so basically what I'm trying to show here is 2007 Forbes ranking and the ranking as of 2018, I think 2018 and 19. 2019. So if you see, just look at the brands. Just don't worry about the text around it. You will see the difference. If you look at the top 10 brands, you will see that there was only one IT software company, which if you see today, there are about 5 to 6 of these on the top, and that's how the brands move. That's how the cultural change has happened. Things change. And if you don't change with times, you kind of lag behind, right? There were 7 manufacturing companies in the 1 to 10 category in 2007, which is reduced to 3. Now, if you look at the top, you'll probably not be able to see it from here, but Coca-Cola in 2007 was worth about 65.5 billion. But if you look at Apple today, it's worth about 205 billion. I mean, look at the scale. Things change. We have to keep up with the change. It's absolutely mandatory. Why do brands fall? Brands fall or rise depending on the market share that they hold. on the strength, which is mostly driven by the social media, passion and so repeatability. If you're consistent on keeping your brand at a certain point, that's what matters. Then we is the reach, customer outreach, and of course the sentiment ratio, which is the brand equity piece of it. So I'll talk about these two brands that actually there are three brands that I'll talk about. The two brands that I started my career with Rolls-Royce. I was there for 17 years. I moved out of that when GE picked me up as General Manager Sales and Marketing for India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Now, it's a funny story. A lot of you people may know about it or may not know about it, but Rolls-Royce brand went through a lot of changes. Now, what happened was basically in 1884, Rolls-Royce was formed, and it was established by Henry Royce, who was running an electrical mechanical business, and he met Mr. Rolls, Stewart Rolls, Charles Stewart Rolls in 1904, who was selling cars in London, and they both joined hands to build Rolls-Royce cars. Between 1906 and 87, they started making aero engines along with cars. In 1971, they went into bad times, they got nationalized. In 87, they got reprivatized. It doesn't stop there. From 73 to 98, the automobile company was separated as Rolls-Royce Cars, and they went into a separate company, which was Rolls-Royce PLC, which is still there, which is the leading provider of power, both for the use of land, marine, and sky. They diversified big time. Now the fun comes, what happens? Now the car company was sold to a company called Vickers. And Vickers further sold the brand and the car to Volkswagen and BMW. So the production capabilities were sold to Volkswagen, but they were not given the brand. BMW got the brand. Now what happens with that? You can make the cars, but you can't brand them. Would you buy a Rolls-Royce made by BMW, which you don't know what brand it is? No. And you can't sell a brand without the car. So and I was there during this time as part of Rolls-Royce, and it was amazing how this evolved. And from 1998 to 2002, BMW supplied the engines and parts for Rolls-Royce and Bentley. But they were not able to give it a name. Queen of England stopped using Rolls-Royce because she said it's a German car now. So BMW allowed to use Rolls-Royce as on 1st of January 2003. And that's why you now see the Rolls-Royce cars which are made by Volkswagen, right? Phantom was launched as the first real car in 2004 as a brand by Rolls-Royce in the last 40 years. So that's how it played havoc with it, right? Now I am very proud to have served, and I'm still serving with a company like GE, which is a digital industrial company. We've been here for about 130 years. We are a fifth Fortune 500 company worth about 46 billion. We recently launched a GE digital company, a platform in the industrial crowd called Predix. What we do there is we use data and analytics and the insights of which predict outcomes. And we kind of do on a Predix platform, we tell you what's going to happen.